Let me ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. When was the last time someone truly respected you? Not liked you, not tolerated you, but genuinely respected you. Here's the brutal truth nobody wants to talk about. We're living in a generation where masculinity has been confused with noise, loud voices, expensive cars, designer clothes, social media flexing. But after years of studying human behavior and watching thousands of men struggle with the same problem, I discovered something important. Real respect, the kind that makes people remember you decades after you're gone, has nothing to do with any of that. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to reveal something that will fundamentally change how you see yourself and how others see you. We'll explore the silent psychological triggers that separate boys from men, and more importantly, why most men today unknowingly destroy their own value every single day without realizing it. This isn't about toxic masculinity. This isn't about outdated traditions. This is about deep psychological patterns that have governed human respect for thousands of years. Patterns that still work today, whether we admit it or not. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll understand why some men command respect the moment they walk into a room, while others can't get it even when they beg for it. And that last part is exactly where most men are going wrong. Part 1. The psychology of desperation. There's a fundamental principle in human psychology that most people never learn, and it costs them everything. It's called perceived value. The rule is simple but brutal. The moment you appear desperate, your value collapses. This applies to everything: money, love, friendship, favors. The way you handle rejection defines your social standing. When you ask for something once, the other person evaluates whether they can help. But when you ask a second time, especially with a pleading tone, their brain changes how it sees you. Their subconscious concludes you have no alternatives, no options, no leverage. And the human brain automatically assigns lower status to people with no options. This isn't cruelty, it's evolutionary psychology. In ancient societies, those who could walk away survived. Those who begged repeatedly became liabilities. Our world looks modern, but our instincts are ancient. Now imagine this in everyday life. You ask a neighbor to borrow a tool. They give a vague response. Not yes, not no. Most men make the same mistake here. They push, they explain, they justify, they negotiate, they beg without saying the word beg. A man who understands psychology does something different. He smiles, says no problem, thanks them, and walks away. No explanations, no pressure. And suddenly the neighbor starts questioning their own decision. He didn't need it that badly. He must have other options. That moment increases your perceived value. This principle is even more important in relationships. Persistence in the face of disinterest is not romantic, it's pressure, and pressure kills attraction. When you chase, beg, or over-explain, you signal low value. High-value people don't chase, they choose. This isn't about playing games, it's about self-respect. When you walk away at the first sign of rejection, you're saying something powerful without speaking. My dignity is non-negotiable. That is where real respect begins. Part 2. The relationship destroyer nobody talks about. There's a silent killer of relationships that destroys more bonds than betrayal or distance: money. Specifically, lending money to people you care about. The moment money changes hands, the relationship changes. You become the creditor, they become the debtor, and that dynamic poisons everything. The human brain has a reciprocity instinct. Debt creates psychological stress. Every time they see you, their subconscious feels discomfort, shame, avoidance. That's why debtors avoid creditors even when they intend to repay. When repayment is delayed, it gets worse. They start justifying, rationalizing, avoiding. Meanwhile, resentment grows on your side. Even if the money is eventually returned, the relationship is damaged. So here's the rule. Never lend money to people you want to keep in your life. If you give money, give it as a gift. Only give what you can afford to lose. Say clearly, "This is not a loan. You don't need to pay me back." This removes shame, removes avoidance, preserves respect. And ironically, it makes repayment more likely, not less. If you can't afford to give, say no. No long explanations, no guilt. Protect your finances and your relationships. Part 3. The public test of character. How a man behaves in public competition reveals everything. Picture a crowded bus stop. The doors open, people push, shove, fight for seats. And then there's one man who waits, calm, still, letting others pass. Most people misread this. They think the aggressive ones are strong. They're wrong. Aggression is often fear, scarcity mindset, fear of losing, fear of discomfort, fear of not having enough. The man who waits operates from abundance. He knows he'll be fine either way. Strength is not pushing. Strength is self-control. Throughout history, real leaders protected the vulnerable. The strong served before they took. When you step aside for others, observers recognize leadership instantly. They may not say it, but they feel it. This is costly signaling. Voluntary discomfort signals strength. The aggressive man may get a seat, but he loses something more valuable: respect. Part 4. Strength in mercy. True strength is not destroying enemies, it's choosing restraint when you could destroy. Anyone can kick someone who's down. That requires no power. Mercy requires confidence. When you show mercy, you demonstrate impulse control, emotional maturity, long-term thinking. People watching learn something important. If he wouldn't crush the weak, he won't abuse power. This builds trust. History proves it. Leaders remembered for mercy inspired loyalty. Leaders remembered for cruelty inspired fear, and fear never lasts. Real power is having the ability to destroy and choosing not to. Closing. The quiet revolution. We live in the age of performance, noise, flexing, validation. But respect doesn't come from performance, it comes from character. Every principle you've heard today is quiet, unseen, unbraggable. Walking away with dignity, giving without leverage, making space for others, showing mercy when you have power. These moments define you. Respect compounds. Small choices build reputation over time. You don't force respect, you become worthy of it. The world is full of boys in men's bodies. Maturity is responsibility for your dignity and the dignity of others. Every interaction is a test. The question is simple. Who are you choosing to be next time it matters?